In this example, we will build a microservices app using Node.js with TypeScript. The frontend of this app is built on Angular, React, or Vue. Those videos are already uploaded on YouTube, and I will provide some links in the description of these videos where you can combine this app with the frontend of your choice. About the backend, there will be two apps. The first one I will call it Admin, and the second one I will call it Main. They will have two different databases. In the Admin app, we will use MySQL as a database, and in the Main app, we will use MongoDB as a database. Both apps will use TypeORM to use the database and create and manipulate data. Both apps will communicate with each other using RabbitMQ events. So if we create a product in the admin app, RabbitMQ will send an event to the main app so we can create the same product there. Also, in another case, we'll send an internal API call from the main app to the admin app just to see the difference between RabbitMQ events and internal API calls. Now let's see how the app looks like. This is the app that we will build. So there are two apps here. This is the admin app and this is the main app. So these apps will use two different backends and two different databases, but they will communicate each other using RabbitMQ event like you see on my right side. So right now I will create a new product. So new product, and I will use an image. So when I create the image, we can see here the new product. We will also see an event happening via RabbitMQ right now. Because they will not use the same app and the same database, the only way of communication is by RabbitMQ events. And as we can see here, the product is created. So this is using a MongoDB database and this is using a MySQL database. And if I like the product, it will also reflect here. We can see likes have increased, but this time we won't use RabbitMQ events. This time we will use HTTP requests. So we will call one microservice, we'll call the other directly. So let's see how this works via coding. Let's start by creating the admin app. This app will be connected with MySQL. So let's run npm init, and I will pick the default values. And here we have a package.json which we created. Now let's install some packages that we need. I'll install Express first and Course. So I install these packages. Now I need to install some dev dependencies. So I'll install a lot of dev dependencies. So I will install types express. I will install types nodemon, TypeScript. So I forgot -d in front. And let's install this for the moment. So this Node app will run on TypeScript. So I installed also the dev dependencies. Now I will create a file called tsconfig.json. Here I will paste this tsconfig. So we need these decorators and metadata and experimental decorators because we will use TypeORM. So I'll create here a folder called src, and inside I will create a TypeScript file called index.ts. For the moment, I will just console log here hello, and I want to convert this file to a JavaScript file. To do it, run tsc. So this will check the TypeScript files and convert them to JavaScript. So as you can see, this is converted, and my IDE makes it look like this is part of this file, but they belong to the same folder. If you don't have this tsc command running, you just have to install globally TypeScript. So you have to run npm install globally TypeScript. So we want to run this tsc every time we make changes. So I will run it like this: tsc -w. This means that it is in watch mode. Now every time I make changes and I save it, this will listen and will convert this app.js file. So this is what I want. Now the second thing that I will do, I will open a new tab and I will configure NodeMon. So I will add here in the scripts part start, and here I will run NodeMon src index app.js. So let's run npm start here, and this one will listen to TypeScript changes and will change app.js, and when app.js is changed, NodeMon will listen to it. So as you can see hello again here, I will convert it to hello, and we can see hello here. So this is reflected from the TypeScript file. So now in the TypeScript file, let's set up Express. I will import it using the TypeScript way. So import all as Express from Express. I will import also all as course from course. So now I imported Express. Let's create the app is equal to Express, and we want this app to use course since we will use also the front end. So use course, and inside I will add the origins. So origin HTTP localhost port 3000. This is for React. I will copy this, and 8080 is for Vue.js, and the last one is 4200, which is for Angular. So course is this app right now will run on port, listen to port 8000. So this app will run on port 8000, but the front-end apps will have different ports, and if they have different ports, Chrome or any other browser will prevent this request. To not prevent the request, we have to add course here, and this will make sure that our frontend will communicate with Node. I will add here also app use express JSON like this, and I will add a console log here listening to port 8000. So we can see it on the browser, listening to port 8000. So everything is correct right now, but we don't have any routes yet. But before we add the routes, we want to connect with the database. So to connect with the database, I will add a data source here, MySQL the user is root, the password is root, and the database is YouTube node admin. There's a connection and I successfully connected. So this is an empty MySQL database. Now we need to install a package to connect with MySQL, and that package is TypeORM. So this library is really powerful, and we need TypeScript to use this library. Let's go down, and here is the installation instructions. So I'll copy this part, I'll open another tab and install TypeORM here. We need to install reflect metadata, and did I install this? So I will install this also. MySQL, and what else? So everything is correct. So we installed everything that we need. Now let's create a folder, entity, and inside I will create a product entity. So this is a table that we will create in our database. So before we create the table, I will connect with the ORM config. Or first let's create the table. So export class product. And to make this an entity, we have to add a decorator here, entity. So don't forget to import entity from TypeORM here. So let's add all the fields about the product. So the first one is ID as a number, and we need to add a decorator for the ID, which is primary generated column. So this means that it is a primary key and it is auto-generated. We need the title, which is a string. This is a column. This will be created also in our database. We need, so I'll copy this. I'll copy it 2 times. We need the image. And the last one is the likes. How many times this product was liked. Also, for the likes, I will add an option here, which is default is 0. So when we create a product and we don't set the likes, by default it will be 0. So we created the entity. Now we need to map this product with this empty schema that we have, and we have to add a file called where is it? A JSON file, ORM config.json. This JSON is a type MySQL. We need to add here the host, which is localhost. The port is 3306. Username is root. Password is root. We need to add the database, which is, let me see it, YouTube node admin. And we need to add the entities, which they are located. I will put an array here. They are located in the source folder. So source entity star.js. So we are using JavaScript here because this will be converted to this JavaScript file, which doesn't look at all similar. So let's go back. we need to also to add here, we can add logging. For the moment I will keep it true, and synchronize. True. So this is everything that we want for the moment, and if we see the console, probably I need to start it again. So it doesn't create the database because I forgot something. So we added the ORM config, but we haven't connected to our app.ts. To connect, we need to import from TypeORM. We need to import create connection, and we have to wrap this code with create connection. Then we will have our DB, and inside here I will cut this code and I'll paste it here. So if we go inside this code, it means that we successfully connected to the database. I'll save this, and we have problems. So let me see ORM config. So this is my mistake. The password is root, and as we can see, we are logging everything. So this is the creation of the database because we are logging, and if we refresh this, we'll see our product is created as we want it. So this is also default 0. So we successfully created the table. I'll change logging to false because this will always console log these values. And now we have our product, we have our database connection, and what is left is to add the endpoints. So let's add the endpoints now, not here, but here. The first one is getting all the products, so I will add here app get API / products, and this will be a function. So I will import from Express request and response. So this will have a request as a request, and a response as a response. So we want to return all the products right now. So we have to query the database, and the first thing, we have this DB variable here, and with that we can create the product repository, which is equal to DB get repository of product. Don't forget also to import the product from the entity. And now that we have this repository, getting all the products is really simple. So let's get the products are equal to, let's make this function asynchronous. Products are equal to await product repository find. So this will find all the products, and in the end we'll say response.json will send the products, and that's it. So we got all the products here. So to test it, make sure to get Postman. So I already installed it, and we will send a get request to HTTP localhost port 8000 /API /products. Send the request, and we got an empty array because we don't have any products in the backend, so we have to create one. So let's add the second one, which is app post API products, And with this, we want to create a product. So I'll copy this part, paste it here. And now let's create a product. So the product is equal to await this, not this, product repository, create, and we will pass request that body inside. So all the data that we will send in the request will be all the fields of the product. So with this, we created the product, and we will get the result is equal to await product repository save. So we have to save it in the database, and we will return the result. So return response send result. So let's try to create a product right now. So I'll copy this and send a post request right now. So we'll send JSON here, title, image, and image. So we don't need to send the likes. So let's send the request. And as we can see, we have an ID of 1, likes 0, and the product is successfully created. If we send the request again to the products endpoint, we get an array, and inside we have this product that we just created. So this works fine. Now let's add the other ones. So this is app get to get a single product. So API/products/ an ID, and I'll copy this part. And now let's get a single product. So we'll get the product is equal to await product repository, find one, and we will send the request params.id. So this will be this ID that we will send in the URL. And that's it. So let's return the response, send the product. I'll save it, copy this URL, and the ID for this product is 1. So let's send a get request to API/product/1. And as we can see, we successfully retrieved a single product. This one is an array, and this one is a single product. Let's add 2 more. One is to update the product. So app put. So this part is the same. And now to update a product, first let's get the product with this. Then we want to update this product's data with the request data that we sent. So we can do it like this: product repository merge. We'll pass a product, and the second parameter is the request body request. So this means that this product variable right now, it will update all the values based on these parameters that we send in the request. And with this, we can save the product, and we can return we'll send the result like this. So this is the update. Get first the product, merge the product with the request that we sent, then we save the product. Let's see how it looks like. So I'll change this get to a put right now, and I'll send a JSON right now. So title is, so title here, new title, image new image. Send a put request, and as we can see, everything is updated. So we have a new title and new image. If we get all the products right now, we'll see that these values are updated. And the last one is deleting the product. So up, delete API/products. So I'll copy this part. So deleting the products is really simple. We'll get the result from await this product repository, delete, and we'll pass the ID from the request that body, not body, sorry, params ID. In the end, we'll return the result. So that's it. Now let's delete this product. So I'll send a delete request, and as we can see, this is the result, but we should not have the products right now, so we will get an empty array. So these are all the CRUD functionality using TypeORM. We still have one last endpoint, so I'll add it here. This will be a post request to API/products/id/like. So this will be the request where we like a product. And this will be really simple. We'll get the product, and we will increase the likes with 1. So likes ++, and we will save it. So this is the endpoint. So this endpoint won't be used in the admin app, but this will be called by the other app. So the other app, the main app, will send an HTTP request to this endpoint. So we'll see it later. Now let's test this endpoint. So first we need to create another product. So I'll create the same product. Now we have the ID 2. And now we need to send a post request to API/products/2/like. We don't need any data. Send the request, and as we can see, likes are increased by 1. So if we get all the products, we can see that the likes are increased. So these are all the endpoints for the admin app. Now let's move to the main app. So I have an empty folder here. Let's run npm init, and I will keep everything the default way. Now in the package.json, I'll copy the same thing as this package.json. From the scripts till the end, I'll copy it and I'll paste it here. The difference here is that we won't use MySQL, so I will remove this package. In this project we will use MongoDB. So let's install what we have right now. So npm install. So we installed everything. We need also to install MongoDB. So npm install MongoDB. So this will be added here as well. Now let's create the same folder structure. So I'll copy the tsconfig, paste it here, and I will create a directory here, src, where I will create a file app, and I will create also a directory entity, with inside I will create a product. Let's create the product. So export class product. This will be similar with the other product, but there will be a difference. So we need the entity here from TypeORM, and the ID will be different. Since this is an ID of MongoDB, it will be a string, and it will be object ID column. So this will be generated by MongoDB, and it will be a unique string. Now let's add the other fields. So here I'll add another field called admin ID. So we'll get the products from the other app, but we still need to store this ID somewhere, since this is the unique identifier. Since we cannot modify this ID that is generated by MongoDB, I will add another column here, which is a number, and also this column will be unique to true. So I added a unique column. Now let's add all the other fields, which are the same. So I'll copy them here. So this is the product. Now I will add the ORM config also here. .json. Inside here, the type will be MongoDB. Host will be localhost. Database will be YouTube node main. Synchronize to true. So synchronize is getting all the entities, and it will add automatically to the database. Logging to false. Entities. This is an array where the path is src. Entity all.js. So we haven't converted this to JS yet, and the CLI will be entities directory src entity. So this is our Mongo configuration. Now let's add this command to compile them to JavaScript, and also run npm start. So we don't have any files yet here. So what I will do is I will get the connection. So first, let's copy this part and paste it here. And we will listen to port 8001. So this is a change here. Now we need the express. Let's import. So we need to import express and course. And to connect with the database, we have to import create connection from TypeORM as well. So we will call here create connection. Then we'll get the database, where we'll cut this and paste it here. So that's it. So let me see. It seems everything is running correctly. Let me get a MongoDB connection here. So schemas do I have any schema? So I have 10 schemas, and the schema that I want is this one. So I created, and we have the product here. So we don't have any data, but this means that we successfully created the product here, and we are ready to create the products. But the products will be created in the admin app, and the only way to be created in the main app is by sending RabbitMQ events. So let's install RabbitMQ. But first we have to set up an account here. So go to cloudampq.com, and this is RabbitMQ as a service. So this will take care of everything. We only need to send events, and this will take care of everything. There is a free version, so this one is a free version. So you set up your account, and you have 100 queues and 10,000 queue messages, more than enough. So now I will log in. Now I'm logged in, and the only thing that I need here is this AMPQ URL. So we will use that later. Also, we have the RabbitMQ manager, so this will keep track of all the events. So right now, let's install all the packages that we need to run RabbitMQ. So let's install npm install amqp lib, so I cannot spell it. And let's add the TypeScript version, so I will add types here. And I will add it as a dependency. So I will do the same for the other app, so let me copy this. And I will add it here, so a new tab. And also the dependency. So we installed successfully the RabbitMQ library. Now let's use it. First, let's import it. So import all as AMQP, I cannot pronounce it, from this library / callback API. So we need to import this, and now we have to connect with the URL that we need. So I'll copy this link that I have, and inside here I'll add here the connection. So call mpq connect. We need the URL, so I'll copy it here, and we need the function. So this function, the first parameter is an error. I'll call it error 0. And the second parameter is the channel connection, sorry. Why error 0? Because we will use something else which that will also throw an error. So if error 0, we will throw the error. So if an error happens, we throw that error. Now let's use the connection here. So connection, create channel, and this will be another function. So this will return an error 1, I will call it, and the second parameter is the channel. So same thing again here. So if an error happens, we throw that error, and if everything is successful, I'll cut all this code and I will put it here. So the first wrapper here is the database connection. The second one is to connect with this URL, and this will create the channel. If we get the message listening to port 8000, it means that everything is successful and we successfully connected with this. So I will do the same now for the other app. So right now it's pretty simple. I will import it and I will copy this part. I'll paste it here. So we need to close this one first. So this one, then this, then this. So everything should be correct. I'll cut this and I'll paste it here. So the other app should be running successfully as well. Since we get this console log, it means that everything is running successfully here also. Now we connected with RabbitMQ. Let's send a test message. So in the admin app right now, let's send, I will call here in the products channel. We have a function here called send to queue, and I will just send a queue hello, and we need to send a value here, and the content should be a buffer. So we cannot send a string here, but we have to call buffer from, and I will send hello. So this is the event that we will send in the admin app. Now let's listen to that event. So first we have to assert the event. So channel assert queue, hello. This is durable false. And now that we got that event, we have to consume it. So I'll call here. So I'll use it here. Channel consume. Here we need the name of the queue, which is hello. And we have the function here. So the parameter is the message that we got. And for the moment I will just console log the message that content to string. Since content is a buffer, so we need to convert it to string. So let's see the console. Everything is successful. We don't see any console log or anything. We send the event by calling the API/products. So let's do that now. This is the endpoint. Let's send the request. Nothing happens here, but as we can see, hello. We are getting an event from RabbitMQ, and we are successfully console logging that message. Now we are ready to create, update products in the main app as well. But before, I forgot to add something. We have to add here process on before exit. So we need to close the connection once this server stops running. So I'll console log here closing, and what we'll do is call connection.close. So that's it. I will copy this and add it here as well. So we have to stop the RabbitMQ connection when our server stops. So Everything is correct. Now let's send events when we create products. So I'll cut this. We don't send any events when we get all the products, but when we create a product, we'll send an event to the queue product created, and we will send the actual product, so it's a result in this case. The result is an object, so this buffer needs string, so I will convert it to string. So JSON stringify this result. So that's it for this event. I'll copy this and I will do the same when we update product updated. We'll send the same product. And when we delete, so when we delete product deleted, but when we delete, we don't send the product. I will send only the ID. So this will be really simple. So 3 events will be emitted in our admin app. Now let's get them here in the main app. So we need 3 queues. One is product created, product updated, and product deleted. So we need to assert these queues, otherwise we'll have an error here because the queue doesn't exist. Now the first one is product created. So we'll get an event, but we know that this event is the actual product. So I'll create a variable. I'll call it event product is equal to JSON parse, since that will be a string, message content to string. So we got the event product here. I will cast it as a product. So the fields are similar, these ones. The ID should be different, but it doesn't matter in this case. So we will use only the fields that are similar. Now let's get the product from our DB here. So we don't have a repository, so let's get here product repository, which is equal to db get mongo repository, and we'll pass the product here. Now about this product, we'll say that product admin ID is equal to this event product dot ID. So this is a string, so I'll need to parse it as an integer. And we have the product.title is equal to event product.title. Product.image is equal to event product.image. And product.likes is equal to event product.likes. So we got everything right now. And what is left is I will make this asynchronous. We need to await repository, so it is product repository. Save this product. In the end, we'll console log product created. I'll add here another option, which is no acknowledgement to false, to true, sorry. And that's it. So let's test this endpoint now. So let's go to Postman, and we have the post request here, Mongo title, I will call it, and Mongo image. So let's create this product, send the request, and this product with ID 3 was created in the admin app, so nothing is going on here. If we see the console log in the main app, we can see product is created. This means that if we open the database, we can see the Mongo image and the Mongo title are here, the likes are here, and the admin ID, which is the ID in MySQL, which was 3, is stored here as well. So this is a Mongo ID, which we cannot store it in MySQL. So everything works correctly. Now let's add the other two. The other one is channel consume product updated, and this is an asynchronous function like we did here. First we have to get the product, so the product first we have to get the product from the event, so we have to get it like this, and then we have to get the product from our database. This event product will have the ID that we want, so the product is equal to wait product repository find one, and we need to find one with the admin ID is equal to this event product dot ID. This is a string here, so we need to parse it as an integer, and that's it. So we will get the product based on this admin ID, and we have to save the values. So product repository, I'll merge the product with these values. The title is event product.title, the image is event product.image, and the likes event product.likes. So we'll update these values. In the end we will save it and we will console log. So I'll save it and we will console log product updated. Let's add the acknowledgement here as well, and that's it. So let's open the console and let's try to update a product. So we will send a put request to products with ID 3, and we will send a new title and new image. So we have the values here. We updated the values here. Let's see if we updated the values here. So we updated them as well. If we open the MongoDB database, we have new image and new title. So the values are successfully updated. The last one is deleting it. So let's add here channel consume product deleted. This is an asynchronous function as well, and here we will get directly the ID. So I will call it admin ID is equal to message content to string, and we will await product repository delete one with this admin ID. So we got the admin ID and we will delete it. So I will also parse it to an integer because this won't work, because it expects this admin ID to be an integer. So we have to parse it like this. In the end, product deleted. So let's try to delete this product. So we'll send a delete request with no parameters. Send. So the product was deleted here. Let's see the console. Product deleted. Let's open the database. we have no products anymore, so the product was removed here as well. So this is how RabbitMQ sends event from one app to the other. And let's add the last two endpoints in the main app. So we need to add, the first one is really simple. Let's add a get endpoint here to API/products. This is an asynchronous function. This will have a request and a response. And we will get the products. Wait, product repository, find. So we got all the products here. Let's return response send products. And we got this endpoint. So let's create first one product again. So I will create the same product, but now is with ID 4. And I will copy this URL, paste it here, but the difference now is endpoint is port 8001. And this is the products that we got in the main app. So we can see the difference for this ID and this admin ID. So the endpoint was added successfully. And the last one is to like the product. So let's send a post request to API/products / the ID /like. And this is also an asynchronous function. The difference here right now is when we send this request, we will also send an internal server request to the admin app. So we won't send RabbitMQ events, we will send an HTTP request. So we'll see the difference between those two requests. So the first thing that we will do is get the product. So product is equal to wait product repository find one by the request params ID. So we got the product there, and with this product now we will send an internal server request to the other app. So to do this, I will install another package, Axios. npm install Axios. So this package helps us send HTTP requests. So let's import Axios from Axios, and let's send the request right now. So we'll wait Axios post HTTP localhost port 8000, my ID is helping me, /API/products. We need to send the ID, which in this case is product admin ID. So it's not the ID that we got from this one, because this is a Mongo ID. We need to send the admin ID here, /like. And the data that we will send is an empty object, so we will just send a post request. So this will increase the likes. In the other app, in this app, we have to call product likes ++, and we will await product repository, save this product, and we will return response send the product. So let's see now the difference between these calls. I will copy this, open a new tab, and we will send a post request to localhost port 8001 / what is the ID of this product, this one, /like. So this will increase the likes, so we will make them near each other. So these are all the products in our admin app, and these are all the products in the main app. So the first product was created before we configured the RabbitMQ. So this Mongo title will increase the likes by 1 in both of these apps. So let's send the request. We can see likes are increased here, which this is working fine. But if we send the request again here, the likes are increased here as well. So we saw two ways of sending events to two apps. One is through RabbitMQ events by sending the data through queues. So this is used more on larger apps. And the other one is by sending internal HTTP requests. So this was the microservices app that I wanted to show you. I hope you liked it, and if you did, please share and subscribe. Thank you.